okay, no, maybe not every single day, but it is something I'm used to. But I feel like because I've been so used to being alone, not alone, but like rejected in friendships, in romantic settings, I was always like, well, at least the one thing I have going for me is that academically I am there, and in the theater I am there. Nobody can stop me. I am the god, which is not very humble. I will give you that, but it's also the only way that I felt I had any worth, which is just really sad, but that's the way I saw it in a way. And so when I got rejected, I was like, what do you mean? Like, I can't get rejected. Like, I don't believe it, because I have never been like it's like if you've never been rejected, in your head you're like, maybe I'm the one person in the world who's never gonna fail, who's gonna have everything working out for me. Maybe that's me. And it is not me. And I was like, okay, this is the worst thing that could ever happen to me. It is probably not the worst, but it definitely sucked. I was like, I refuse. I will not accept that. So yeah, I just wanted to say that I do know rejection is redirection. I am aware. That does not make it any easier though, as you probably guessed. Yeah, it is really hard. I think mostly, I feel like I never believed I would get into the school, like, even though I'm like, I will never get rejected, whatever. I never believed I would go into the school, because it's very prestigious. It's like 20 people out of like 2,000. I was like, okay, I think you're good, but not that good. But I don't think I expected to get out on the first round. I mean, I knew it could happen, and I was like, yeah, maybe I probably will, but when I did my audition, I was like, it went super well. And so I was like, okay, I probably would get into the second one. I started like prepping for the second one, because I was like, it's coming soon. So if I get it, like, I have to be prepared. And then I learned that I'm not in, and I'm like, it just, it feels very mean. It doesn't feel mean, but it feels like, oh, I'm not even worth seeing a second time. Like, I'm that bad. And it doesn't mean I'm that bad, but it's just, it hurts. Like, no, we're not even gonna want to see you again. Like, not even gonna want to see more from you. Like, we don't believe in you, actually. We really, really, really don't. And I'm like, okay, that is not nice. So I'm trying to deal. It is very hard, and I think the thing that is the hardest for me is not believing that it means I'm really bad. I feel my self-confidence, let's just say last year, was really, really, really low, and I had a lot of issues with myself last year, and I'm trying to solve them, and I've been doing good, but being rejected definitely does not. It definitely doesn't, mostly because theater is so important to me. It is like my biggest passion in the world. Like, it's all I ever think about. It's what's most important to me. So when I learned that I'm not as talented as I thought, I'm like, well, maybe I'm just not talented at all. Maybe that couldn't even be my job. Like, maybe there's not a world where that is my job. And that scares me, because that's all I ever want to do. Like, that is my dream. That is my dream career. Like, I literally could not want to do anything else more. it's terrifying. Like, I can imagine I'm not good enough. It's terrible, and as I said, I've had trouble with self-confidence, and I'm really, first of all, scared that this is gonna make me fall back into the kind of hole I was in last year, where I was hating on myself constantly and thinking I wasn't good enough, and hating everything I did, because I was doing theater last year at school, and like every time I would get on stage, it would be like, that was absolutely shit. Everybody would like tell me, not everybody, but like, people would think, oh, that was great. And I was like, I don't even believe you, you're full of shit. That was actually terrible. I wouldn't say that to their face, but like, that's what I was telling myself. I was like, you suck, and you don't even deserve to be here, and you should think of another career, because you don't deserve this, you don't deserve that, and you suck, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, I don't want to go back to that. That was not fun. Strangely, I did not enjoy that very much. But I might have to learn a deal. No, but like, how do I say that? It's gonna take a lot of work from me to make sure I don't fall into that hole, because I know myself, and I know how easy it is for me to degrade myself. Like today I was trying to do music, and I was like struggling on something, and I was like, well, I'm shit, and like they didn't even want me. They were probably right, because I can't even write that. It's not a music school, what the fuck. But I was like, I'm just shit at everything, and I started having like a real crisis, and I was like, okay, Clea, you need to stop. This is not good for you. You need to calm down. And I had theater yesterday as well, with my, where I do theater. And I was really sad, so it was hard for me to get into it, but I was trying, and I was like, well, maybe I just can't, because I suck. Maybe I'm just not meant for this. And I was looking at the others, and I was like, well, they're all much better than me. Like, why would I even bother? Like, they should have the career that I want, like, blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh my god, Clee, you're 19. You have so much left to learn. Like, of course, you're not the best you could ever be at 19. You're gonna grow up, and you're gonna get better at theater, and you're gonna slay, and one day you're gonna have the career you want, because if you want it, you will work for it, and you will get it. But yeah, it's really hard, and I know rejection is redirection, and I am excited to see where I'm redirected, but it also makes me really scared, because now that I've been rejected once, I know I can be rejected again, and I'm like, if I get rejected to every single thing I want, it'll be really complicated. But I have to trust in the universe. I don't know if I believe in the universe though. I have to trust in myself, and I have to trust that whatever is thrown at me, I will deal with it the way it should be dealt with, and it will lead me to where I need to be. But it is really